Is the UCI about to ban hookless rims? Because of recent incidents, you may have seen it at the UAE tour. Lotto Destiny rider Thomas de Gent hit the deck and you have seen the tire off the rim. Tire insert was off the wheel as well. That's the green thing right here. Lotto Destiny are running Vittoria tires. I'm pretty certain that this is a Vittoria insert as well. And we have Zip wheels and those are hookless because Zip, also like Envy, are two really big manufacturers that push hookless rims. Also, and this is not long ago at all, that was this past Saturday, another Lotto Destiny rider who also of course runs Zip wheels is seen on a photograph. And for that matter, shout out to Jared Gruber, who really takes phenomenal pictures of professional cycling, and I've been following him a while now on Instagram. Really amazing pictures that show really behind like the scenes, that show the pictures that are not on the TV cameras. And here you see a Lotto Destiny rider. Tire is off. It's a Vittoria, probably a Vittoria Corsa Pro. Then we have the inliner, the green inliner again, and the Zip wheel, which appears to be broken. You can see it near the valve there. Yeah, it's most definitely broken, you see, because it looks like the Zip 353 and we only see the 5 and 3, so I think it's broken right there. So it could have been, of course, a nasty crash that caused the rim to be broken and tire to come off. However, in those two incidents, the tires came off the rim completely. They would just not hold onto the rim like how they should. The inliner, of course, once the tire is off, the inliner doesn't really have a chance in staying on there on its own, especially if the wheel is still running on the road. So you have those two incidents, and the media and social media especially reacted quite heavily to it. But it's understandable, of course, because all the people questioned rider safety in the professional peloton. And we have now a UCI statement right here. Let me read it to you. In light of a series of recent incidents involving the use of hookless rims and tubeless tires, the combination commonly referred to as hookless in professional road cycling, the Union Cycliste Internationale, so the UCI, has decided to study the situation as a matter of urgency with a view to taking a rapid decision in the interest of rider safety. It will be communicated as soon as possible. The UCI shall continue to work closely with the stakeholders of cycling and equipment manufacturers to ensure that appropriate measures are taken both in short and long term. So does that mean, I think they are in constant exchange with manufacturers like Zip and Envy, and in general with all the manufacturers that are being represented in the professional peloton. They need to take measures. Does that mean that we will see a special Zip or Envy wheel set with hooked rims so that they can be used in the professional peloton? And that will of course also be sold to the public, because that's the UCI rule. As we have now heard from a lot of sources who most definitely know a lot more about rim manufacturing, hookless rims are a lot cheaper to manufacture than hooked rims. And of course, this is for manufacturers, for profit-oriented manufacturers, this is of course always the aim, to have lower production costs, higher retail prices, so they can turn a nice big fat profit. In my opinion, however, for road cycling especially, hookless rims just don't make sense, because even with hooked rims, if you have a loose tubeless tire that you fit onto a hooked rim that it almost doesn't seal, it already gives you some kind of concern, especially for the customer for which you do the repair or the build. However, if you have like a Campagnolo rim and then a Continental 5000 tubeless tire, it normally is super ultra snug. It really works your forearms. It's ultra tight. Then you get a better feeling, and of course you have the hooked rim, so you get the feeling, oh, this tire will be safely on the rim and will most probably not come off. But this is all about tolerances between rim and tire manufacturers, and there are a lot of differences. There is not one norm or system that exists. Of course, there is Mavic UST, so if you use Mavic rims and tires, it is set from Mavic that you have the perfect fit and no worries. However, if you mix and match rims and tires, you cannot really be sure, and especially if you have the hookless rims, because most hookless rims require a pressure below 70 psi, which is 4.8 4.8 bars. And nowadays we have seen that 28mm tires are pretty much the standard. Even the professional peloton runs them on super smooth surfaces where you don't have any obstacles or rough roads. And as for me, most of the time I run like 4.5 bars, which is like 65 psi. But that's really also depending on the system weight. So we have the bike and the rider and all the equipment the rider uses, like helmets and shoes. You have to take into consideration the system weight. And if you have a rider that's like 1 meter and 90 centimeters tall, who will most likely weigh more than myself, I'm always between 70 and 75 kilograms, and maybe this rider weighs 85, so he will naturally adjust his tire pressure, or better say his mechanics will adjust his tire pressure. He will run higher tire pressure. I'm sure that Thomas de Gent, who is not the tallest rider, is of course not this heavy, especially considering that he is a professional athlete. Then again, it's not all about weight, but it's about equipment and equipment use. And those guys, the professional cyclists, they use their material to the max. So they don't care if it breaks or if it scratches, because at the end of the day, they get a spare bike, spare wheels. They don't have to worry about anything at all concerning that. We, the amateur riders, of course, we pay for our own equipment most of the time. Maybe we get a nice little deal here and there. If we break something, we have to replace it on our own. We have to think about it, we have to get it, we have to buy it. It is likely that we take care of our stuff a little bit better than the professional athletes, of course. And also there it is staying in position, securing the win at all costs, because that's what they paid to do. So they won't protect their equipment. They won't care at all. And that's why I think the stuff should be more secure. They need some kind of security when they go to the max as of physiological performance and also usage of the material. The tubulars, so the glued on tires, were actually pretty secure, because even if you happen to get a puncture, you can still ride, because the tire will still be glued onto the rim. The rim will not be in direct contact to the road, so we'll still have some kind of grip, and that gives you kind of a security. Nowadays they use clinchers, tubeless and even hookless rims, which apparently don't really provide that security. In terms of other parts, we have seen, especially in the past, professionals using alloy parts instead of carbon ones, so that if something breaks, they will directly sense it or see it, because carbon stuff can delaminate, just jump back in its structure, and you would say nothing happened there. So this is the kind of security that I think they should have, not having manufacturers pushing their latest stuff that they want to sell to the public like us on to the professional riders in order to have some advertisement for them. Of course, that's also what they're paid to do. But if you jeopardize riders' safety, that's a concern that of course now the UCI has to discuss. So what do you think about this whole theme? I'm sure you have seen it in the news and also on social media. And I'm really eager to hear your opinion about it. So if you have a comment, please leave it in the section below, and I'll see you in the next one.